He's out here going, do you have Schefter senses? He's out here going, I wouldn't be surprised if everything's settled by Wednesday. Geez, I kind of wanted to sneak away tomorrow or Wednesday. Tomorrow's better for me.
Yeah.
It's just, if it's just about me, which this one.
Yeah, well, then, go.
But if I'm not going to the Scotties if the Bills hire a coach. Like maybe I'll go on Friday or something.
Well, you can't know. I mean,
well, what can I do? It's an hour and a half. Mississauga, which I just learned is the 6th biggest city in Canada. It's not Toronto. It's kind of Toronto, but it's Mississauga.
I don't know. Like, it depends. I think if you go, they'll hire a coach.
See, that's like what my mom would say.
It's a little, I know, right? So,
no offense.
We're close enough in age. I can accept, being lumped in with your mom.
I'm not sure that's fair to her by me, but by the way. But there are a lot of people who kind of live their lives that way.
Right. So I don't know, like if you're already, it's been a week today since we learned Sean McDermott was being relieved of his duties as head coach. If you're already fatigued by the process and just want it wrapped up for some reason, which does not describe me at all, I'm fine.
I'm not fatigued.
I'm just hanging out over here, like they'll do your work. I'm waiting to see if there's another surprise Scooby-Doo candidate like Philip Rivers. We had a day with Philip Rivers. By today, it's gone. It's come and gone. Friday was our day, and yay, we got to talk about the idea of them hiring Philip Rivers
and Mike McDaniel.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Wait, was that over?
That was Friday morning.
That was still a live Friday.
We didn't end up talking much about Mike McDaniel because Rivers was more interesting, probably.
Yeah, right.
But the Rivers thing is exactly what I thought it was, probably, where they just sort of went through it.
Right.
But he was never going to be their head coach.
Right. I saw one little piece at some point in between him talking to the Bills and him bailing out on the idea, which we learned today, that said, like, they were impressed and don't be surprised if there's some role for him. And I'm like, yeah, he's got how many kids? Like, he's gonna come here to be the quality control quarterbacks coach / something. Like,
it's a sickness.
I come on. There's no, he's not just catching on with some, job down the depth chart. I wouldn't think. Anyway,
I don't know if I agree with that.
What do I know?
If he wants to get into coaching for a career, how does he do it? That's how he does it. That's how you do it.
Right. Maybe he thought he could start at the top. Maybe it was just see what things are like, and internally in the Rivers family, cooler heads prevailed. Now's maybe not the time. We supported you on this go back and play thing, and fine. Find out what this is like. Find out what the interview process is like, maybe. But no.
Okay.
So anyway, whatever. I'm just going a long way to say, go on your trip. They'll hire a coach. I mean, I don't know. I'd like you to be here when they hire a coach too.
I intend to be here when they hire a coach. That's really not on the table.
Right.
I'm saying my not being here when they do it. I mean, if there's no scent tomorrow morning, then I might, and I get permission to go, from work, then I'll probably just do it. But if they hire someone at noon, I'm coming back.
Oh, I see.
If it's at 3,
you're kind of stuck.
I'm there. I think I'm probably.
You're not going to make it back.
I'd call in or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is Wednesday Clint Kubiak is the name here.
And there's nothing. We're not going to learn anything. The only thing we're going to learn between now and 2 weeks from today is that he has accepted a job somewhere else that he's already talked to. And I don't even know if you do. I'm so cloudy now with this stuff because this year we've gotten he's going to be their coordinator, except if this happens, right? We had that with McDaniel. That was with Brian Flores as well. This Udinski guy now has got that too, right? Like, he's set to go back for a raise, and I don't know if more of a role, whatever, but they're allowing him to continue. So maybe we find out that Clint Kubiak has accepted the Raiders job. He's having a second interview with them. You can talk to a candidate that you previously talked to. Like, there was a window for these people. The Bills weren't in it. They didn't fire their coach till after divisional round weekend.
Right, they won a game.
And because they won a game and they were through, and so they didn't they couldn't avail themselves of Clint Kubiak at the time.
Should they have blown the Jacksonville game on purpose?
Just so they could talk to yeah. So I don't know if you'll get even an announcement that he's settled on a job before the Super Bowl. I feel like coordinators, it's not like college, where like Lane Kiffin, and it turned out he didn't get to coach, but I'm sure it's happened. A guy has got a job, he's leaving, but he's going to coach the bowl game. I don't know that happens in the NFL. Like, is he going to be announced as the Raiders coach?
Yes, I think it's probably fine.
Okay.
I don't know, but I think it should be
so that
fine.
But anyway, if that can happen or does happen, that's the only news you're going to get about him. You're getting nothing on the Bills. Right. They have to sit and wait for him,
right? Which
comes with its own set of risks, I think. You're waiting 2 more weeks, and everybody else might sort of be on to other stuff, and you might get stuck if, like, Clint Kubiak walks in the room. You might like him just fine. There could be – he could walk in there and just go, yeah, this doesn't feel right to me.
I don't think you have to worry about it. Is he really cut and dried above at least one of the other options they'll have? By the way, has anybody ever done the thing I said, tank in the playoffs?
Probably not.
Make the playoffs, but then lose on purpose so you can talk to more people because you don't think you're going all the way and you're ready to make the coaching change? Okay. Well, I mean, you could make the argument that they should wait. He seems impressive. Seattle hums on offense. I mean, I don't have any strike against that idea, but I'm kind of intrigued by the Jacksonville guy. Maybe Davis Webb is interesting enough. Those are the 2 young candidates. Then you have Daboll. Right?
I wonder if there isn't room for 2 of those guys. Because Webb right now is just a quarterback's coach. So a coordinator spot is an upgrade for him. And I wonder if he and Udinski could work together.
Well, I think that could be – you like the idea just because both guys are kind of unproven and – maybe you just win for having them both, but I think it could be tricky with like who's really in charge of what.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever's getting the head coaching job for the Bills is somebody that's getting it because of their play calling and their success, and then you're going to hire a second person. I could see why you'd want to, but I could also see why you wouldn't.
Well, it's interesting you use the phrasing play calling there because neither of those guys are play callers.
Well, they could
nor have they been.
That's
in the NFL.
That's what you're saying.
They do not have there's not like a library of games to go through to see how they handled certain situations as a play caller because that's not their job.
If you just settle for what you get from the mainstream media, that's of course what you would say. I know that fair enough, but just what do you want to call it? I mean, Daboll is not that, but this is Webb and Udinski, right?
Right.
What is qualifying them for this possible opportunity?
The reputations they've accrued since, just in the last few years, and Davis Webb maybe is a candidate because he's climbed the ladder. He's thought to be a bright, he's going to be, everybody's saying he's going to be a head coach, and he has ties to Allen. He has ties to the team. He was here, and he and Allen are thought to have a tight relationship. That's what qualifies him for the job right now. Udinski, while not having been a play caller, I watched a 5-minute clip. Was mostly him answering a question about what did you get out of working with Kevin O'Connell. And he just went in depth, just never stopped talking, like just laying out what my days were like, what I learned. And that guy, to me, it feels to me like touched every bit of what it's like to be a head coach. Because it sounded to me a little bit like, and I know he actually literally wasn't doing this, like he was shadowing Kevin O'Connell. Like just going through his day with him and seeing like all the different variety of tasks that are to be undertaken. And I'm really excited. I like him a lot. I don't know if they're going to hire him, but that is my favorite idea right now. Udinski.
All right. I kind of agree.
I like the Kubiak idea, but I'm just not sure about waiting 2 weeks. I would be nervous if I were the Bills that you could lose out on everybody else, and he walks in and doesn't like Pagula's shirt or something. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm being a little goofy about it, but you don't know that that's going to go well. Again, you might the Bills might love everything they've seen and heard and read and who they've talked to about him, but he doesn't know the Bills necessarily, and he could walk in and just go, yeah.
Anything's possible, but if they had interest in him, he would know, real world. He would know that. And likewise, they would know what he needs or doesn't like or what doesn't smell good to him about it. And possibly he's just not going to be a candidate because there's some connection he has where maybe he saw the press conference, whatever it might be, where he wants to live, things like that. We've never touched into the Kubiak world up here, have we? It's New Orleans or it's, Seattle, Denver, Houston, whatever. Like, I think they're in the real world, they will find out. Maybe there's something that changes when you actually sit down together, but I don't know. I don't think that has to be too much of a problem. I guess I'll put it that way. Udinski is not among the betting favorites for any other job, by the way. He reportedly is not interested in Cleveland after meeting with them, and neither at BetOnline, Vegas, or Arizona, his name does not appear. He's the third favorite here behind Daboll and Webb as of this morning. But it's all pretty close. Well, how are you feeling? 803-0550, the Bills coaching search into its second week. By the way, on those odds, a couple of potentially interesting things. Joe Brady is listed for 3 of the jobs, not Cleveland. And he is listed for the Bills, but he's a long shot at all of them, according to this. Wonder where he ends up. There's somebody that, is going to be somebody's offensive coordinator probably at the end of this. And maybe there are, right? There are going to be openings right now for some number of teams that have head coaches in place. And you wonder if, Brady sort of looks at his cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Philadelphia is one example. I think they're still – I keep reading about they're talking to this guy, talking to that guy, whatever.
Exactly. Something like that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if you get I'm just playing off the odds here. Joe Brady is going to Philadelphia or somewhere to be their offensive coordinator and giving up on the head coaching dream for now. I feel like the odds are kind of telling you that. McDermott is listed among the Browns' names, but there's no odds there. So I don't know. Have you heard anything about him?
I saw something either yesterday at some point or today that indicated it was a report that he's likely to sit out a year is the most likely outcome. That he's not either there's not interest in him, which would very much surprise me, or that he's not interested in what's out there, but that he's just going to be on the sideline for a year.
So to speak.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, a different sideline from the game. Not. Yeah. Okay.
What an interesting personal decision that is. It's sort of in a certain way, and this is not to judge him or anybody in that position. It's so exhausting and time-consuming and year-round, mostly, that job and all the pressure. You'd think, family considerations might be and you're going to get compensated very well for not working, that's sort of maybe the knee-jerk judgment somebody would make is, dude, take a break.
Mm-hmm.
Go be with I'm not saying this about him. I'm not offering this in a direct personal way, but go be with your kids, decompress.
Yeah.
Look at the board from the outside, and maybe be able to relax a little bit. But
sure.
Relax is an interesting word because these coaches don't tend to relax easily.
Right.
These are not people generally, to stereotype, who have an easy time with getting away. Look at Philip Rivers again. I mean, he's coaching high school. He's got this huge family, tons of money, you would think. Yeah, I kind of want to be in the ring.
I need the juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a very interesting personal decision that these guys have. If they're fortunate enough to be paid like, McDermott would be in this situation, and also be somebody that you wouldn't think he'd just be forgotten about in a year. Maybe some people who don't quite have the same advantages. I can't afford to sit out, right? I got to make.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a certain opportunity where I can parlay that into interviews for head coach in the future, And if I wait, then maybe I just get left out. So the calculus on these coaching situations is always very interesting.
I also wonder a little bit if the personality that craves that juice is afraid to not have the juice because they might like it. You know, like you reference like Bill Cowher, for example, got away and never went back. Jimmy Johnson, this is going back a long time now. They've been on TV for maybe longer than they coached in the NFL now, both guys.
I've always thought this incredible.
But maybe it's just like the switch gets flipped and the odd guy, these two guys went, actually, I like this.
I want to be on a boat.
This is good for me. Like maybe family like also said, Dad or Hun, you're I like you more like this. This is better. Like, all right, I can still make a ton of coin doing the TV thing, and it's way less taxing. And okay, lifestyle wise,
you might not even listen to this, but you might not even really need to make more money. If you're making money on that level and you're investing smartly, then you really shouldn't need to work at NFL Today, but you just do it because you enjoy it, I guess.
And I think the money is pretty outrageous. So,
good enough.
for what you're required to do, it might just be of course I'm going to do that.
Which that's insane, isn't it?
Yes.
To think of like what value
Yeah.
CBS thinks Bill Cowher adds to their programming is absolutely insane. He's not the worst, but could they really not live without him? I mean,
right.
Anyway, I've always found that incredible.
You could plug any one of like 100 or 1,000 different people in there, and it would be the same show.
A guy, yeah, exactly.
With the same audience, I think.
People say that about this show. I don't know if I agree.
Yeah.
If you just replaced us.
There's maybe a dozen people you could replace us with.
It's a short list.
Way shorter list, yeah.
McDermott takes this job for something to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, Nate Scheelhaas has been one of these names, a Rams assistant, and he's the betting favorite in Cleveland now.
Okay.
Ahead of Jim Schwartz. I don't know what Bet Online knows, but
right.
If the favorites,
well, it might just be betting lines on this thing might just be they could have hired him 2 weeks ago and they haven't yet, so maybe they're going to do something else. Like there's nothing said. They know him. He was their defense coordinator. He's interviewed twice.
Schwartz, yeah.
And, it might just be like if they were going to hire him, it would have already happened.
Maybe.
I don't know. Possible, anyway.
803-0550. The search continues. Really interesting discussions to get into when we're talking about this stuff. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to permanently, at this point in time, have a hockeyreference.com tab open?
Ooh.
I always have a profootballreference.com tab open, or three. Some old game I want to reference, no pun intended, current stats, whatever. Always, during the season. And usually year-round because of fantasy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball, not really, once in a while. I'm at the who's playing tonight level of interest in the NHL, which is that's not been true for me in years.
Yep.
On Sabres off nights, I want to know who else is on.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure I'll watch a game, but I want to know for the standings purposes. Also, I was out with Jeremy on Friday night, and he likewise has certainly reached who do you want to play levels of interest in the Sabres, and he thinks the easy answer is Detroit. But there's another conversation. Do I need to have that in front of my face at all times?
Right. I would say we're there. Yeah. I think we're there. I have not thought yet when looking at the standings about how it could shake out. Although, I am. Yeah. They're in third now. I went in Saturday night. The Sabres, of course, clobbered the Islanders 5-0 on Saturday afternoon. Saturday night, Montreal and Boston are playing. These are two teams really, they're sandwiching the Sabres at the time anyway. The Sabres had passed Montreal, I think, by the time those teams took the ice at 7 o'clock. But either way, they're the two teams closest to the Sabres. And, you know what? I think I want Boston to win, even though they gain on me if I fall back into a wild card spot. But the way this has been going, I'm thinking about third, which means you're playing the second place team in the division, and that very well could be Detroit. They and Tampa are a point apart at the top of the division. So if Detroit, I think that's a much more favorable matchup if Detroit ends up second and you end up third and you let Tampa go to first. I don't love Tampa in the first round. I think they're one of the best teams in the whole league at this point.
Plus, you could go to Detroit.
That's right.
There'd be a lot of fan fun in a playoff series,
Yeah.
best of 7, both buildings.
Right.
They've never even come close to meeting in the
And
playoffs.
Detroit's been out.
right?
Detroit's been out for a while too. I mean, it's not 14 years, but it's been a minute, I think,
Really?
for them. Unless they didn't get in last year, did they?
You're asking the wrong guy.
I don't think they did. I think they're riding a little bit of a drought.
Pittsburgh, another one you could end up talking about. They haven't been in the playoffs in a few years, right?
No.
That one I got. Well, I have a tab open right now. It's right next to the curling, which, by the way, Skurlik up 5-1 on Weagle after 5. Not to spoil anything for anybody up in Mississauga. 803-0550, Bills coaching search. Oh, yeah, the Super Bowl. New England and Seattle. A rematch of a pretty memorable game in the Super Bowl, the Oyster Bowl.
That I watched at your house.
Yes. I had the party that year. We just moved there, and many of the work team came over, and I know of it as the Oyster Bowl because my friend Jim Garino from Shango prepared New England and Pacific Northwest oysters, and you got to compare, which not everybody wanted to do. Not everybody's favorite appetizer.
I remember having